Friends, greetings, salutations. I hope everyone is well. It is Tuesday, March 11th, and the market is still looking for a bottom here. So let's talk about two stocks in particular, but kind of roundabout where everyone's at right now, mentally, emotionally. You still buying? Have you run out of capital? Where are we at right now with everyone? So, talking about, we'll talk about Big Bear real fast here. First things first, because something happened here today with Big Bear, and here's the situation when, obviously, you don't have to be, a genius for what I'm about to say here. The market is, selling off still. I mean, we are still in a massive, massive plunge, and, recession is up in there. Even Tom Lee gave an interview today, and, even Tom is going, I'm not ruling out that we are headed for a recession, and this week is really going to tell the tale. Especially tomorrow, we've got some reports coming out to see inflation data, all that kind of stuff. So tomorrow could be we find the bottom, or we go on a roller coaster ride down to the pits of hell where we have not been in a long time. So if you think it's bad now, tomorrow could be the ultimate bad. So with that too, I do want to give the underlining, thread here, what everyone should have in the back of their mind for, I think this should be the main thing here. The stocks that you were buying 4 months ago, 4 weeks ago, essentially, a month ago, a month and a half ago, where you were paying incredible prices for SoFi, Palantir, even Big Bear, even though we knew Big Bear wasn't going to hold those high numbers. A lot of those stocks, your Metas, your Amazons, those stocks are still the same stocks. They're still the same companies. They're still the same reports, everything. There's nothing that is changing fundamentally about those companies right now. So, just because we're seeing mass sell-off with these stocks here, it doesn't mean that they're never going to go back up. Nothing's going to happen. I think what I'm trying to say is, this is when people should be buying. This is when you should be building a portfolio. Now, obviously, tomorrow will really tell us where we're going to be in the market. Tomorrow, like I said, it could be just complete more bloodbath. I mean, it could really just be worse. So we're going to find out all together here. But let's go right into Big Bear. And now, obviously, news came out today with Big Bear. They sealed up another government contract. So what I was speculating happened. It happened here. And this is great news. So this will be a third defense contract. Big Bear awarded contract monetize critical Department of Defense force management platform. So this came out today, that Big Bear got this. Now 3.5 years, 13.2 million, source contract to support the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff. You can read it all here. But so this isn't a huge contract, obviously. This is what we're really looking for here is like another 200 million, 300 million, 500 million would be amazing, but we're not seeing that right now. But listen, this is great. And why is this great? It's a little contract. It's only 13 million split up over 3.5 years. So, obviously you break that down to, 3.5 years, then you break that up into your quarterly. So it's not as big, but it is still a lot of money. But what we're looking for here for compounding, we're looking for compounding for Big Bear for quarterlies, to where as we start getting into Q1, Q2, Q3 of this year, that we start to see a rise in Big Bear quarterlies, to where maybe in mid of this year, we can meet expectation. Maybe we can beat expectation. That would be huge for Big Bear. Big Bear has not seen that in a while. Big Bear can start to pay off debt. But this is such more, like, I still stand by what I was saying 2-3 months ago when I started buying this, especially a month ago when Big Bear started to receive these government contracts. And then, their new CEO has appointed Kevin here, who's already been with Big Bear, but he's been appointed now the CEO of Big Bear, has a military background. He has a friendship with the Trump campaign. Well, not even campaign anymore, just the whole cabinet at this point. So, like I said just a few weeks ago, before this happened, before today, I don't think there's a coincidence that they keep getting these contracts. They're in cahoots with the Defense Department, and this is probably going to keep happening. So, and this is more of the conversation. If you were watching, and I want to be careful how I say this. I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to I don't want to put chum in the water where there's still where we're looking for more clues to what is going on here with the future of Big Bear. The thing is that if you were there 22, 23 months ago with Palantir, okay, you remember that Palantir at that time was in a lot better position than Big Bear even at this moment. Palantir was making a lot more money, their debt was more under control, and there were a lot more brighter things to look at for them. Now Big Bear is getting into some conversation where things are happening here. Okay, this is the most we've seen happen in a long time. But what we saw with Palantir back a handful of years ago now was that they kept doing things like this. They kept compounding big deal, mid-sized deal, little deal, another big deal, mid deal. They kept getting contracts, okay? So in that too, I think I just burped, I'm sorry. In that, it just kept compounding to where a quarterly would come out and be like, oh, that was a pretty good quarterly. Then another quarterly would come out and be like, okay, that quarterly was even bigger. Then another quarterly would come out and we'd go, okay, that quarterly is even bigger. And then with each of those quarterlies through, 2022, 2023, they were compounding each earnings because deals were still coming out there. So I'm not saying that Big Bear is going to be the new Palantir by any regard right now. So I don't want to put that out there in the ether, but people say this, and I am addressing it, that, I was watching Palantir back then, and just like I'm watching Big Bear right now, there are similarities of what is going on right now with Big Bear, and that's why Big Bear is still very juicy and attractive to a lot of people right now, 100%. So, this is why I still think Big Bear is very much in a running this year to where you need to pay attention to what's going on with Big Bear. Listen, do you want to buy Big Bear now at $3, $2? It could even go back down to $1.90. I'm going to be real with you. The worst this market, until we find a bottom in this market, anything's possible with these low-end cap stocks that are struggling. Anything's possible. With this too is that, like I was saying, do you want to buy Big Bear now, or do you want to buy it, at the end of this year when Big Bear actually gets into profit range and earnings, and then maybe the stock starts turning into, maybe it can support a $7, $8 position? I don't want to buy it at $8. I want to buy it at $3. I want to buy it at $2. Now, here's where I say this to, put a parachute over me right now with everyone. I am still 100%, and I hope my mindset changes on this by the end of the year, because it'll be the safest thing for all of us. Big Bear is still my wild card. There's not enough proof still at this moment to say that, like, hey, Big Bear is going to fundamentally change their financial future here this year. Now, if this deal had come out today and this deal was, say like for, $100 million even, okay, then things would be a lot different. Okay, this would be different. Now, 13.5 million, that's a lot of money, but it's a lot of money split up over 3.5 years. 13.2 million. So at the end of the day, it's good, but it's compounding money. But it's going to be even more of a big deal if we do see more deals come in here. So that's 3 defense deals within under 2 months, okay? Under 2 months, they have already gotten 3 defense deals. They could get a 4th. They could get a 5th. And not to mention, this is how Palantir built their business, by the way, too. So here's a very interesting thing you need to think about. And even Alex Cart came out and talked about this not long ago, where he said, listen, we haven't reached out with the sales team. All of our, we started to get customers, and then those customers reached out to customers, and then customers to us, and that's just how we accumulated our business. So I am by no means not thinking that Big Bear can run their company just like Palantir did these last handful of years here, to where they don't really need to reach out. People are going to reach out to them because I'm sure it's a very nice thing to say, like, hey, yeah, we work for the government, okay? And then other companies are going to see that and go like, well, Big Bear, they've got all these government contract deals. So if it can happen with Palantir, there's no reason it can't happen with Big Bear. Obviously, I know Big Bear's got a lot of debt they got to get under control. 100%. They've got to start hitting earnings here. But friends, listen, you got to have. I like drama. I like chaos. I like a wild card in the market. Yeah, I put my money in Amazon. I invest in Tesla, Alphabet, Meta, all that. Sure, I put money in safe stuff. I have a safe portfolio, of course, I have that. But I also have a wild portfolio too. And Big Bear's in that wild portfolio where I'm like, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens here. But I truly believe that Big Bear is headed in the right direction, 100%. I mean, what do you want here? I mean, this is good. This is good business that they're getting something here. The one thing else that I would love to see here from Big Bear, I would love to see their new CEO Kevin give more video interviews. I would love to see him talk more. I think that would be so positive and so good for Big Bear. I think it would really be good for investors to see their CEO, to hear his thoughts and what he thinks. So Kevin, if you're listening to this, anybody knows Kevin, talk to your investors, talk to people. We want to hear from you. Tell us about the future of Big Bear, what you think about it, and I think that's I get scared, man, when CEOs don't talk. When CEOs don't talk, I go like, oh, this is so bad. This is not good, because then they kind of swap in and out. But the good thing here is that Kevin's been with Big Bear for quite a while now. So, and even since Kevin's come in here with Big Bear CEO, a lot of things have been happening military-wise. So, listen, I was saying this 2 months ago when these defense contracts started to come in, and I'm saying even more now on top of a mountain. I think this is just going to continue to happen majority throughout the year. We're going to see more contracts like this, 100%. And then SoFi, friends, there's not a lot to report for SoFi. Here's the thing with SoFi. SoFi obviously is looking for its bottom too, and it may have found it, but it's hard to say anything's found its bottom at this point, because tomorrow is the day of potentially a reckoning. We're going to see what happens here. But one thing that is in the back of my mind here with SoFi that makes me go, that I go, okay, and the reason why I keep putting money in SoFi, I have literally, I keep dropping money in SoFi 100%, because it's not this year that I'm concerned about SoFi. It's throughout like the next decade where I'm thinking SoFi can really turn into something special, where like 5-8 years from now I'm gonna be like, thank God I bought that stock when I did, because I think there is going to be a lot to come here for investors, just a wealth of gold here, just a fountain of gold here with SoFi. And I say that because of the futuristics of what SoFi can bring to the table here with a new generation of investors, customers, everything. But two, short term with SoFi here, obviously looking for a bottom. The thing right now is that, obviously we're in a tariff crisis. We're in a tariff war, whatever you want to call it, and now we're getting more and more into talks of recession. Is this going to be a bad recession? Is this going to be a dump and build back up? I don't know at this point. None of us know. We've never been here. Our fathers, our grandfathers haven't been here before. This is something new we're dealing with in the market. We're all going through it together and we're all learning, okay? So it's okay to go, I don't know. I don't know. I'm right there with you. I'm watching it. But what I do know is that I am going to put money in good stocks right now. Even if I'm still not buying in at the bottom, I'm at least buying in at positions I feel very comfortable buying into, because I know, a handful of years from now, it's going to be life-changing money and a life-changing decision. SoFi is definitely one of those stocks right now, because short term, like I was saying this year, is that whenever we get this market to find a bottom, the market goes, okay, I've done enough. I'm gonna start here, and we're gonna start working our way back up into something here. It's gonna be slow, but we'll find a bottom here eventually. With that, we're gonna have rate cuts sometime this year, possibly maybe June. Okay, that's the last we've heard about it. Okay, but obviously, when these rate cuts come, it's going to be good for SoFi. It's going to be good for all banks, but SoFi too, obviously. But with that too, SoFi will be having they're going to be reporting earnings here in just a handful of weeks, a month. Essentially, it's coming here for the Q1. SoFi is in the range of reporting billion-dollar earnings here, billion-dollar quarterlies, okay? And that's going to be a very, very big, legitimate changing factor for SoFi. Now, obviously, SoFi being a bank, SoFi it relies a lot on the market right now. It relies a lot on the market to find a standing ground. Okay, and obviously here's the thing. SoFi could go down a lot more if we do find ourselves in a recession. Why? Because SoFi, the bread and butter, bones of the company, it's a bank. Whether we want to admit that, I know people love to argue about that, but it's a bank. Okay, I know they have a lot of technology, and that's why I love them. Everything with that, but SoFi being a bank, what goes first in recession stocks? It's the bank stocks. The bank stocks will take the biggest hit. So, friends, listen, SoFi is something that even if SoFi bleeds down to say $5, okay, I will be buying more. I will be buying as much as I possibly humanly can. 100%, 100%. I cannot live my life with this situation and just fighting it in misery. Okay, I think this is a moment where we need to stay focused. You need to focus on what you can afford, what you can buy, whether you can put $5 in the market a week, $500 in the market a week. Okay, this is where you start building your portfolio 100%. I mean, I know I have friends that have literally started whole new portfolios in the past 2 weeks, with positions in stocks where they were like, okay, I'm completely down over here, but there are stocks over here that I've wanted to buy for a long time. I'm going to start positions in these stocks with these new accounts. Even with crypto, I have somebody that did that, but it's such an important time right now to invest. It's such an important time. Friends, be excited for what's coming. The short term, yeah, this is gonna suck. It's growing pains. If you've been through a market sell off, yes, they suck. This one is a little different because there's no like this. This is just it's an ongoing situation. It's an ongoing situation because this tariff situation, it just gets worse every day. I mean, at this rate next week, we're going to be like, Canada, you're doing 85% of tariff, and because they did one on us. I mean, it's just like back and forth, back and forth. So we will see what the week brings here. I hope we find a bottom. I really do. I don't want it to go down anymore. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But when it comes to Big Bear, I'm encouraged. I really am encouraged with what's going on with Big Bear. It's gonna be a tell of time, friends. And 100%, if this tariff stuff never happened and our market stayed up, and the market was still rolling like it was 4 weeks ago at this point, there's no doubt in my mind that Big Bear would have been still rolling at $8 to $12 at this point with that deal coming in right there. It would have been running on just complete FOMO 100%. So that's not to say that it's going back to $12 anytime soon. I don't believe we're going to see $12 anytime soon with Big Bear unless they were to get some monstrous deal that we never saw coming. But still, just like every other stock, Big Bear needs the market support right now, and the market is not giving support to anything right now. There's nothing that's running, just giving massive gains at this point. I mean, it's just far in between. So, friends, take care of yourself. I will talk to you soon. Good luck, everyone, and we will see what tomorrow brings. You think it's bad now? We'll see. We'll see. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.